Okay, we're not going to start with the usual, hey guys, it's Mr. Bison, we'll try something different. So, Merhaba, nasilsiniz? İyiyim. Ben Bay Bice'nim ve YouTube'da bir matematik öğretmeniyim. So basically, hi, how is everyone? I'm good. I'm Mr. Bison and I am a maths teacher on YouTube. So you're probably thinking, what's going on here? Why is he not talking to me about maths? Well, I basically want to talk to you about something new that I've been working on. And as a community post, I put a picture up of me and my dad in Istanbul visiting family a couple of weeks ago. And somebody suggested Biçen Turkish. Well, actually, it should be Biçen Türkçe because my surname is actually spelt with a little cedilla under the C, which means in Turkish you pronounce it as Biçen. But I don't know, I've always kind of said Mr. Bison, so I don't mind, use whichever one that you prefer. Now, I actually was not brought up speaking any Turkish at all, and I really haven't spent much time there apart from in recent years. So, my dad moved to the UK when he was 17 by himself. He came to the UK to get an education. He had to do his A levels. He then did a degree, a master's, a PhD, all in like maths and engineering. So you can kind of see where I've got my influence, particularly my love of mechanics from. And I've been visiting more in recent years, and I've really been enjoying like reconnecting with family and making new friends while I've been there. And for me, I have to have that language connection if I want to be able to make a better connection with the country and my identity. And so after last year's project of making lots of videos for the further maths options modules, learning loads of things to do with decision and statistics, I'm now taking on a new challenge, and you can't probably can guess what it was already. And that new challenge I want you to hold me account to is that I'm now learning Turkish. And I figured this would be a really good thing for me to share with you about how we learn things, being on a similar kind of learning journey to you, and how I think this relates back to my role as a teacher, but crucially now my role as a student or a learner. So in this video, I want to tell you a few things. First of all, like why I'm doing this, which is quite a personal thing, so I'm feeling quite sort of nervous about sharing some of this with you. Secondly, how I'm doing this and how I think it can relate back to learning in general. And then last of all, I want to talk to you about some of the things I've learned so far with Turkish that I have found really interesting. So why am I doing this? Well, I have realized that learning new things is so fundamental to who I am as a person. It is such a passion, and it has to be something that's got a lot of structure for me to be really enjoying it. So things like maths, things like Turkish and new languages just gives me like such a buzz. I find myself like going to bed at night like thinking about all of the things that I've been learning, which for me is just such a good sign of enjoying something. I also want to understand more about where I came from. I think I've always thought of myself as half Turkish in theory, but not half Turkish in practice, if that makes sense. And I think a language is going to be a really important step in being able to connect with culture, rather than always having to get my dad to translate things for me. So how am I doing this, and how does it relate to learning in general? Well, I basically started off being in Istanbul and saying, how do you say this, or how do you say that? I kind of didn't really understand the structure of any of the words, and none of it stuck in my head at all. It's kind of like asking someone to teach you what differentiation is, and they say, oh, you just take the power, pull the power down, and reduce the power by one. There's like no understanding about what differentiation is, and it doesn't apply to all situations. So I didn't feel very empowered by that kind of way of learning. I then tried the apps. I tried Duolingo, which for me kind of didn't teach me anything. It was just sort of like a game, and here's a picture and a word, try and connect them together. I tried another app called Babbel, which goes into a lot more detail about grammar, which I really liked. You can see if you're a mathematical person, you probably love learning grammar in a language. But it kind of wasn't pushing me enough to be able to think in a Turkish kind of way. It wasn't giving me enough exposure. I tried a book. I thought I'm a textbook kind of guy. I've taught myself a lot of stuff of maths through textbooks. Maybe I can do that with Turkish, but I just wasn't speaking. And I just kind of found myself stuck because I would listen to something in Turkish and just feel really, just like I couldn't really understand what was going on. And so this is where my new Turkish tutor, who I have online lessons with, this is where she comes in. And it is just totally reminding me of how important the role of a teacher is when learning new things. We've only had about 3 or 4 lessons so far. And the thing that I'm noticing is how I respond to her praise or when she corrects me, and she's pushing me to talk and think in Turkish as much as possible, which just isn't the case with apps and books. And I don't know, I'm kind of thinking about AI and how there's so much talk about like there's going to be AI in the future like teaching us. There's just nothing for me replaces this idea of like a human connection that we have. So it's kind of just like maths, really. Like, if you watch my videos, which emulates the idea of like a tutoring or a teaching session, loads of them are actually filmed in a class, but you don't do the practice, well, you won't be immersed in the maths, just like I haven't been immersed in the language, and you're going to find learning so much harder. And just like maths and loads of other subjects at A level, there is just so much knowledge acquisition that is required when learning a new language. So, for example, in Turkish, you can understand how to conjugate a verb into the present tense, but what's the point if you don't know any of the verbs? So I'm 3 hours of lessons in, and I've already gone very old school with flashcards. I've got 85 verbs here that I've memorized. So I've got yürümek, which is to walk, yüzmek, which is to swim. And it's just remarkable how much I prefer learning with something on pen and paper rather than something that's on a screen. Nothing beats the old-fashioned way of pen and paper for learning for me, or iPad and pen, same kind of thing, really. And I've been getting quizzed on these and have really been enjoying this too. So some of my thoughts about Turkish so far. Now, it is a really mathematical language, which I think I'm really finding quite exciting to sort of learn about the structure of it. In fact, it is something that is called an agglutinative language, which basically means that you kind of stick things together and you make quite long words, and each little part of the word changes its meaning. So whereas in English we might say something like, I am not speaking, in Turkish it is just one word, which is konuş-mu-yor-um. The konuş tells us the verb, which is speaking. The mu in konuş-mu-yor-um means it's the negative, I'm not speaking. The iyor means it's the present tense, and the means that I'm talking about me. So konuş-mu-yor-um. All that structure in just one word. I just think it's so cool, and it's a totally different way to how we speak English. And I don't know, it's already showing me how Turkish people think in a different way because of their language. And if you speak any other languages, I wonder if that reveals a bit about how that culture thinks, or maybe about how your family think in a different kind of way. My other thought is that it is so hard to memorize new words in Turkish. Now, I did French at A level, and there was quite a lot of words in French that you could guess the meaning of. So, for example, the word dormir in French means to sleep, but I know that a dormitory is a place where people go to sleep, so it's quite easy to remember that. Now, in Turkish, it's much harder. There are still a few words that are borrowed from French, but I'm having to remember things like yürümek is to walk, and it doesn't sound like anything like that. It doesn't sound like anything that I've heard before. And yüzmek is to swim. So some quite confusing things there. And then the last thing I wanted to say is a cool fact is that Atatürk, who most Turkish seem to absolutely love, by the way, and today is actually 29 Ekim, which is the 29th of October. It's 101 years since the Turkish Republic was founded, so it's kind of cool that I'm sharing this video on this day. Atatürk, who set up the Turkish Republic, he changed the Turkish alphabet from an Arabic script to a Latin script in 1928, and this was mostly, people think, to pull Turkey closer to Europe. And it's actually just made it much easier for me to learn because I'm just being able to read letters that I can recognize. And it also means that most words are mostly written in a phonetic way. So unlike in English, where the letters O-U-G-H, if you see that in a word, it can be pronounced in so many different ways. For example, you can have thought, rough, plow, through, slough, though, thorough, cough, and hiccup. All of those words feature O-U-G-H, all pronounced in a different way. In Turkish, they pretty much just read like the way that they are. They sound like the way that they are written. There's a few different letters. There's like an I without a dot, the C with the cedilla, like in my surname Biçen, and also the S with the cedilla, and a few other bits here and there as well. But once you've learnt those, it does mean that pronouncing things in Turkish should be a little bit easier. So I guess the real reason I wanted to make this video is to share with you that learning doesn't stop after university. It doesn't have to. And you can challenge yourself to learn new things, whatever your age is, whatever situation you're in. And I know I have mature students who also watch my YouTube channel, and I always find those people like really inspiring that they're coming back to maths, maybe when they didn't do it for a few years. So I'm also hoping that telling you about this will get some encouragement from you along the way. And if you want to see about how I'm getting on, I'll post a few updates every now and then, and maybe you can give me some of that encouragement, because I guess that's what I really feel passionate about, is encouraging you guys with your studies. And so, I don't know, I just love to have some of that reciprocated a bit, because learning really is very hard. I also want to say thank you to my Turkish family for their patience with me in learning, especially my wonderful cousins and my aunties and uncles, my new Turkish friends, particularly Yalcin, who's being very helpful with me with my practicing, and my mum and my dad and my husband, who have already been helping me with these flashcards so much since I've come back to the UK. So I guess what I'd like to know is there anything you'd like to see in any of these future videos as I'm learning Turkish? I would love for you to come along on this journey with me. I'd love to know if there's anything that you're learning outside of your A-levels, whether that's a language, some kind of hobby, and how you find that experience as well. It'd be really cool to know if you do speak any other languages. Anyway, thank you so much for listening to this, a bit more of a personal video here. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon. Görüşürüz.